Hello everyone, here I am again with another Facebook Live, and today I have a super special friend with me. Her name is Kim Stanwood Terranova, and she is an amazing spiritual counselor, licensed spiritual counselor from Malibu. She is the owner of this magnificent place in Malibu called, what's the name of it?
The Namaste Sanctuary Malibu.
So you should check her website. And today I asked her to do this with me because she is a genius when it comes to getting rid of expectations, raising your standards, and creating beautiful intentions for your life. And this woman here has changed my life in ways that you have no idea.
Now you're going to make me cry before we begin.
I call her my Shiro. So, Kim, tell us about yourself a little bit, and tell us why are expectations ruining our lives?
Like my wonderful Paula said, I'm a licensed practitioner from Malibu. I work at the Agape International Spiritual Center as well as have my own practice. And I love talking about expectations and intentions because we have found that there's so many ways that we unconsciously live in expectation, which always leads us to disappointment. And there's this beautiful solution if we could always know that we can slip out of expectation and be really powerful beings as we always are, but live fully empowered when we move over to start creating intentions instead of living a life of expectation. So there's we have the key within us. It's just staying awake enough to know and inspired and engaged like we do together with others is to know that there's an answer there, and we must seek that more than staying in the problem of expectation. And many of us live in expectation, we don't even know it. Those moments, I'll say to people, how many of you get upset if somebody doesn't text you back fast enough, or if you don't get an email when you think you should? Those are all hidden expectations that cause disappointment.
So you said it once perfectly. Expectations are premeditated disappointment.
Yes.
Premeditated disappointment. Did you hear that? So what are other ways where expectations are in our lives and we're not even aware of it?
There are so many places that we must raise our awareness of, like those two I just gave you, as well as if we come in the door and have an expectation of how someone's going to greet us, or if someone did something that we think they should do or should have done. Right there, the word should gets us, it's right attached to judgment and expectation.
Okay, sure.
So whenever we base our happiness or fulfillment on anything outside of us, so in the outside world something must occur for us to be fulfilled, we're in expectation. So it could be with our partners, it could be with friendships, it could be in the work environment, in so many ways. So when we realize, oh, I'm in expectation here, so first we must realize it. We must have the awareness where we're in expectation, which takes observation, and then gently, lovingly, not get into judgment of ourselves, but apply intentions right away. Because if we lean into intentions, it immediately takes us out of expectation.
So before we go into intentions, what are those emotions that our expectations ignite, that they fire up in us? What are those emotions that because sometimes observing our thoughts might be a little bit too difficult because there's so many thoughts a day. So what are those signature feelings that people feel when they're in expectation?
If we get hooked, if all of a sudden we're triggered by something and we don't know why, so an upset, a disappointment, if anger kicks in, if any little thing is taking us off center, so we get to keep remembering, am I centered right now and clear and calm and making all my decisions? And if not, if there's something prickly that is an upset, then if we step back for a moment and ask, what is being revealed here in this upset, sadness, anger, who knows what it may be, then we can find this answer to, there's some expectation that's hidden there most of the time.
Got it.
And it's not always, this isn't a hard and fast rule, it's an observation of where am I hooked, and having something must occur out here in someone or in the world for me to be happy. Okay. That's like the main sign. The second we think that should happen to make me happy, that person would do this, then we're in expectation.
Got it.
And there's times I have couples that I'll have one of them say, you mean I'm not to have any expectation of my partner? And I'll say, just imagine if you're in complete communication of what is your intention with your partner, then you'll have a much clearer path of communication, so the expectations will be lowered. So it's not that we don't keep agreements. We still keep agreements with loved ones, but when we're communicating intentionally, we open up a bigger dialogue so that expectations are dropped. So then we come to our partner and say, wait a minute, we had an agreement about this. Can we talk about it? Instead of an upset of expectation being unfulfilled.
Very good. Very clear. Okay, so how do we create intent? Well, first, what are intentions and how do we create them to change the pattern?
You know this is my favorite conversation.
I know, and she's writing a book about it, so stay tuned for that. But one of the things that I've seen is that when we are in expectation and we're trying, or with my clients, and I'm trying to break the pattern, sometimes we are a little bit addicted to having expectations. It's almost like a habit. So to be like, I'm not going to have any more expectations is like me asking you, don't think about a blue card. Don't think about a blue card. And you're still thinking about a blue card. So instead of that, you put intentions to kind of alleviate the expectations. So,
well, even not, can I use a different word besides alleviate? Because you know how I love language.
Okay.
So instead of it alleviating the expectation, what we're doing is becoming aware that we're creating.
Okay.
So we're becoming much more conscious of what we wish to create.
Got it.
So then when we observe, what do I wish to create? Then we base our intentions on that, so that we're aiming. So the intentions are like a through line. They're energetic force that is guiding this universal field to support us in all we wish to create. So when we don't have them, we could just be in kind of like a muddled sense of what we're placing on the imprint of the universal field of what we wish to create.
Okay. So
intentions bring we are always creators, right? But we become conscious creators.
Got it.
Our intentions keep us very conscious in what we wish to create. So they're similar to goals, but they're not goals. But they're similar to them in that they're a statement, you know, that's always in the present moment, is always positive, and they're aiming the energy forward, but it's not with a definite outcome. So it doesn't say on this date, at that time, this will occur, because that's still an expectation.
Okay.
That doesn't leave the universe room to bring it to you sooner, faster, or the double the amount.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So people get very upset about the government. We're not going to talk about any specific one, but in all countries it happens. So what could be an expectation so that we can be conscious creators when it comes to the outside circumstances?
What can be an intention for
What
that?
could be an intention? Yeah.
So I would ask somebody, when it comes to living in your country, what do you want to feel? I'd ask you, what do you want to feel? If someone said, well, I want to feel powerful, I want to feel like I have a voice, I want to feel like I'm in alignment with participating in my government structure in whatever way that is, then I would go back to the feeling and say, all right, so if I'm hearing you, your intention would be to stay centered, present to what can be created in the element of your government structure, or to be, I'd say, what are those qualities where there's calm, centered, clear, inspired? Then the intention would be based on that. My intention is to stay at one with all humanity. That'd be a really good one, because otherwise we're believing in separation. The government's here, I'm here.
Yep.
So if we know my intention is to stay at one with all humanity as we co-create a world that works for all, that'd be a really good intention.
That's beautiful.
That'd be a really
Now,
good
for couples, something for people that are in a relationship,
love that.
and not even have to be romantic relationships, just all relationships.
Yeah.
These relationships are hard. Some people come to me and they say, Paola, sometimes I go to work, but I see that coworker, and it's just like I cannot even stand that person. Or I love my partner, but they just have that capacity to trigger me. How would you create? I know this is a big question, but if you can bring like one
relationships are everything.
Yeah.
Relationships give us the opportunity to see where we're at in life and what we're practicing. They're like our mirror. So in relationships, always, the very first thing I tell people is that you want to connect. So even if you don't agree with someone, you could not agree, but still know it's important to connect, to be heard. So if it's my intention in relationship is to connect, always, so then you just break separation, to connect, and find pathways to communicate more effectively. Or my intention is to connect and see the light of that being. If it was like the person you said, they go to work and there's someone they do not like, then my intention is to connect and see the light of that being, or accept that person as they are. Right? Relationship. My intention is to connect and open the doors of deep levels of love in my relationship.
Beautiful.
My intention is to connect and keep my heart open as I communicate with my beloved. Like, just imagine that we start all conversations like that. Like, you walk in the door. There's some couples I'll ask one of them before they come home from work that they stay in the car for a moment to just get their head straight, to release their day, and set their intention to connect with their beloved when they walk in the door. And I'll ask the other one that may see that their partner just came home to just be present to whatever upset or anything that happened for them in the day is just dropped, to know I'm just here to connect with this being without anything else. Like, did they do this? Did they not do that?
Just connect.
Because then we have a heart space to begin from.
That is beautiful. That is amazing. That is amazing.
It's so possible when we take the art of language, because it's so beautiful, and really tune into, what am I using it for? Am I using it to empower or to harm?
To create or to destroy.
Exactly.
Very good.
And then back to your standards conversation. Then that brings all of our focus on, where do I wish to live, at what perception, what place in life do I want to be awake and alert? Because what's so important is to connect and use the language that we have to love more deeply and find solutions for, whether it's government problems, world problems, whether it's problems in our own home.
Very good. Yeah, yesterday I did another Facebook Live for the Spanish community, and I was talking about how your life is determined by your standards. And when you look at your reality, let's say you look at your body temple, you look at your finances, you look at your relationships, that reality that you're seeing, it's mirroring your standards. But our standards are most of the time tainted by expectations. Our standards are, they should do that for me.
Or our view of what we think our life should be like.
Perception.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. And all the shoulds, and then we should all of ourselves.
Yes.
So I asked Kim, how do you think intentions can help us to raise our standards, therefore our reality, our life? So what do you think about that?
I think that it just, again, it comes back to clarity. Intentions bring clarity to what we are calling forth. And lots of people say to me, well, I don't know what I want yet, Kim. And that's understandable too, is that then our intention could just be for clarity. My intention is, say someone says, well, I'm not sure what I want to do for my livelihood, but I know I'm inspired by certain things. Then I'll ask them, could you hold the vibration of an intention to, hold on. My intention is to call forth clarity and expansive listening on what is that makes my heart sing, that I'm here to deliver. If we call forth clarity and expansive listening, not just to the other beings next to us, but to that inner guidance system, we will catch the vision of what we're here to deliver. Yeah, it's wonderful stuff.
That's amazing. And she is writing a book about intentions.
Yes,
and
it'll be done soon.
It'll be done soon. So I highly recommend you check her website. It's
KimStanwoodTerranova.com.
.com. And
sign up there. You'll find out when Paula and I are together again. It'll keep you posted on everything.
Yeah, amazing. She has a meditation album on iTunes and another platform.
cdbaby.com. There are 5 or 6 beautiful meditations that were recorded here in Costa Rica.
It's amazing.
It's good.
Yeah, for those of you who want to learn how to meditate, I highly recommend this album. It's so easy to follow her beautiful, precious voice. It's amazing. And my intention for you is to check out my book. This is your book.
This is my copy, so we're just taking a peek at it because I'm going to be reading it the entire way home on my plane flight right now.
Yes, and I wrote this book with the intention of sharing my own journey of freeing myself from my own lies, from my own low standards. So this is like an intense coaching session to wake you up, to remember that you're light, that you're loved, that you're powerful beyond measure. So
And you're the perfect example of that.
thank you, amiguita. Thank you,
This woman's an amazingly powerful woman, and I'm honored to walk with you.
Me too.
Yes. All right, enough mush. We'll mush.
So if you have any questions about intentions, please comment in the bar below here. I'm gonna put a link for her website so that you can check her out, and also the album, and also how to get my book.
Get the book.
Please give the thumbs up if you like this video. Also share it with your friends, share it in your wall. This information is so precious. It can change your life. It can you can recover bliss in a moment, enthusiasm in a moment, just by this little shift and changing your expectations for intentions. Becoming a creator and not a victim. We are not a victim of this life.
Correct.
We're beautiful creators. So
Have the intention today to be present to all the miracles that are in your life right now, and just be showered with gratitude, because then more are coming.
yeah, be present to all of the miracles that are happening around. That's beautiful. Okay, very cool, very cool. Thank you so much
Have a good day.
for watching this video. Give the thumbs up again. Have a great day. Thank you, amiguita.
Bye.